Welcome to another episode of Travels and Wildlife Photography.
Hey everybody, thanks so much for joining us.
We are here in Caddo Lake in Louisiana.
Yes.
And
which you can be at this lake in 2 different states.
yes, it's a very large lake, so it's in Texas and Louisiana.
Yeah.
And we're making our way east
Yep.
to Hilton Head. And this was kind of on the way.
Ish. We decided to make it on the way.
We decided to make it on the way
Yeah.
because we love these cypress swamps.
Yeah.
And we've been to a handful of different ones in Georgia, mostly
And
Georgia.
Is that where?
Yeah.
I feel like we did. I feel
Maybe
like we've
in
done
South
one
Carolina?
in Louisiana as well.
Maybe one in Louisiana.
Yeah.
We've
but
gone to a
not
handful.
anywhere near here.
Yeah. And we thought we would take the opportunity to come check it out and see if we can get any photography here as
Every
well.
time we've done one in the past, it's been a super short window. We've always been
Yes.
really tight on our schedule for
Yes.
whatever reason.
Sometimes we haven't had a boat,
I
our
was
own
just gonna say
boat.
we've never had. Oh no, you're right.
I think one time we did,
Yeah.
but sometimes we've been limited by that, by not
We've
having
had
our
to use
kayak
rentals
with
and
us.
stuff like that. And when you're
Yeah.
at these places, you really want to be out in the water.
You want to
really
be, at those prime times of day, like
Yeah.
sunrise, sunset, or
And the
pre-dawn.
rentals don't always work with that.
Right.
We've dealt with that
Right.
before. Yeah.
So,
So this was a great chance. Everything lined up for us, and we're spending a nice chunk of time here.
yeah, we decided to spend 10 days here. We've been doing a lot of traveling, and so
Yeah.
we need, or I know I can speak for myself, I wanted to be like grounded in a place for a little bit.
Right there with you for sure. And you guys, if anybody here's watched the previous episode, you saw like that one we had a lot going on.
Yeah, in a short window of time. And so it's nice to be somewhere for almost 2 weeks and
Yeah.
be able to have this as our backyard,
Just-
our view.
This is our backyard for 10 days.
Yep, we are staying at a campground,
Yeah.
which is nice.
What's the name of it?
Earl Williamson Park or something.
Something like that.
Yeah.
It's on the west side of the lake, right on Louisiana.
Yeah. And the lake is huge. We haven't explored much outside of what's just here.
Yet.
Yet. Yeah, we're still here for about another week. So
Yeah.
6 more days.
Yeah. It's going to be awesome. A couple of rain days coming up, but
Yes.
yeah. But other than that, we have our boat sitting right over there.
And
The
it's-
van's right behind, just 10 feet back there.
Yeah.
You guys can't see it, but like out of our windows, we're watching all these birds and everything on the lake. And we can just grab the kayak anytime we want and just launch out there
Yes.
whenever things are good. Like you can see behind us, probably not the best light tonight, so we don't bother.
Yeah.
We get to be picky right now.
We do, and
which
it's
is
a
awesome.
nice thing. And also having time, multiple days gives us like that
Yes.
flexibility as well.
For sure.
To not
'Cause
feel like you have to go out every sunrise.
That's
and
what
sunset.
happens.
Yeah.
We're very lucky we get to live this way. We get to see some amazing places, and our life is like a permanent vacation, especially this time of year when we're traveling around all these places. But it still can at times, if we're in a place for, let's say, 2 to 4 days,
Yeah.
it still feels like
Rushed. You gotta
you have
get
to take
everything
advantage
in.
of, like, oh, we got to go see this, and we got to go see this, and I have work I got to do, and fit that in. And it gets hectic, and it starts to feel a little stressed at times.
Yeah.
And just exhausting at other times.
Exhausting, yeah.
And we also end up having to go out when the conditions aren't the best for light, weather, whatever.
Yeah.
And so this is wonderful when we get the time, and we've done much better with that this year, of slowing down
Yeah.
and being able to really just kind of enjoy
A place
Yeah.
for everything that it has to offer.
It makes a big difference, yeah.
Yeah, so we can continue our travel recap starting
We're going to go back to
by
Big
going
Bend.
back to Big Bend.
And so here
This
is
was
me after getting...
achieving a 10 millimeter wildlife shot.
So on the last episode, I don't even know if we mentioned that I was
I
going
think
to
we
try.
did.
I was
Yeah,
going to
at
try
the
and do
end.
the 10
Yeah.
millimeter thing.
You had gotten a wide shot, and then you were like, but I want to go back with the 10 and
the 24, because we
the 24. We had the
28.
28 to 400.
Correct. So I wanted to go back with the 24 to 120, thinking that would give me a better composition on something I'd already shot there, which
Right.
it did. But then I threw the 10 millimeter on and instantly was like, this is the lens to shoot. This is absolutely the lens to shoot. And I'll show you guys here. So
That's
is
like in the cave.
This
I don't
is
know if
like-
you call it a cave, but
and it is kind of like a little bit of an inset there. It's not a cave in that it goes way
Yeah.
deep in. It only goes into this, to the left here. maybe another 5-10 feet max
Yeah.
in there. But there is an obvious ledge there, and we'll show you guys here this video of Emilie climbing down. So this is the previous day, but still, this is the space. So we went all the way up in there and tucked in there.
Yeah.
Because that's where the Canyon Wren was hanging out.
Right. And then when we went back the next day, there were actually 2 Canyon Wrens.
Which is really cool. So this is the habitat there.
Yep.
That's what it looks like. That's Mexico right over there. And yeah, so you get a lay of the land there, what it looks like. And I'm going to show you this one first, because this is one I took because there he is. That's the Canyon Wren right there, that little tiny speck. I don't know if you can see it when I zoom in. But I wanted to show this because this is also another perspective. This is not the shot I was after once I threw that lens on.
Yeah.
And I didn't see this until he perched over my head. And he looks far away there. He's probably like 10 feet above my head.
Right, the 10 millimeter makes things kind of distorted,
it's
right?
So wide.
Yeah.
It's so wide. But this gave me an idea of I need to point that lens up a bit more.
Yeah, for sure.
Because it's a real
That's
trippy
a really
perspective.
unique perspective, yeah.
It's really weird.
Yeah.
And so while this doesn't work as a shot, because that bird is just
it's just kind of buried in there. Yeah, but it's still a cool visual though.
Conceptually, and I kept it because of that too.
Yeah.
I'm like, this is just a neat kind of shot in and of itself, and oh cool, there's a Canyon Wren. But I believe, here is the shot I was after, and saw as soon as I put that lens on. It's this one.
Nice.
And
Yeah.
I'll show you guys that just full screen there. So this is a Canyon Wren shot at 10 millimeter, flying across this beautiful canyon. What was the name of that canyon? Do you remember?
Boquillas?
Oh yeah, Boquillas, I think.
I don't know if it's how you pronounce it, but
Yeah, probably not. We're not good at Spanish. Yeah.
it's probably maybe.
So this is Mexico over here. I was taking this from in the US here. That's the Rio Grande River right there, running through it. And guys, I was pumped. I was so pumped to get this. And I'm telling you, I started with that 24 to 120. It was a vertical composition I was trying, which was kind of basically, here I'll show you, it would have been the right half of this vertically. And so it looked pretty good when I did that composition. I had a little bit of play in it, but when I put that 10 millimeter on and looked through the lens and saw that it gave me that entire opening that was almost like an eye shape.
Yeah, it is like an eye shape.
I was like, this is the shot. I can't see shooting anything else. But then I also realized 10 millimeter, this bird's gonna have to come close.
Right.
All in, maybe a half hour up there.
Yeah.
At first 10 minutes, a half hour with the birds probably.
Right.
First 10 minutes, no birds at all.
Yeah.
We were hearing them like off, it sounded like on the other side of, in another country,
in another country, yeah.
And just nothing close, like right where the one we had the day before was, which was this exact spot. 10, 15 minutes, the one showed up, then there was another one, there was the pair there, Emilie pointed out, she was like, there's another one,
Yeah.
It was really, really cool. And then I needed an exact flyby. I really knew I wanted a silhouette because anything else with these birds, they have good camo, they're gonna blend in.
Yeah.
To me, the silhouette was what was gonna make them stand out. And like a good wing position
too, you needed that too.
That was really important.
Yeah.
So I rarely do this, but I shot this one with the Z9. I cranked it up to the 20 frames a second max shutter frame rate that it does. Dialed in some settings. I did end up having to close down just to make sure I was gonna get a little bit more depth of field because it is a 2.8 lens, and I came close to getting a shot earlier on this outing, and it was completely out of focus.
Okay.
Yeah. So I'm glad I had that mistake to kind of look at, because the bird, he ended up being like right there in the frame. It really wasn't a good placement,
right?
But it showed me like, oh crap, it was out of focus. I got to make sure I got enough depth of field here.
Right.
So it ended up pushing the ISO a little higher than I wanted to. I mean, 500 is not high, but I knew I wanted a lot of dynamic range in this image,
right?
Because I wanted to be able to see something. And you know, if you're viewing this on a bigger screen in a light controlled area, you should be able to see some detail in the rock there and down here and see the river flow through and all that stuff.
Right.
That was important to me, as well as maintaining detail in that sky. So I wanted to keep my ISO down, but I also didn't want to go with too slow of a shutter speed. So I played around and ended up balancing in here. But he flew close, guys. This bird flew really close when this happened. He's probably maybe 6-7 feet away, just flying right across
Yeah.
Here.
Perfect.
And I did get a few shots of him there.
Yeah.
So I have more. I got rid of them just because the wings weren't great. But there's another version. I think he's a little too close to the rock there.
Yeah.
Even though I really
position's
like
a little funky.
his
you
wings
like that.
kind of in a way. And
Yeah.
then I have this one as well. But by far, this one to me just shows
Yeah,
a wonderful
for
bird
sure.
shape. And I feel like he jumps out the most. Plus, he's kind of like flying into the scene.
Yeah, he is.
A little bit more
Yeah.
here, whereas he's kind
More
of
like flying out of it.
on his way out.
Yeah. Yeah, so that's how we wrapped up our time at
Yeah,
Big Bend.
we shot that morning.
That morning, and then we drove, and drove. We spent one night in a Walmart parking lot on the way to getting here.
Not our favorite thing to do, but
No,
we do it sometimes.
At first, we stopped at a rest stop, and it was so
That's right.
loud, and we haven't slept at a rest stop in a very long time, I guess. And we're so used to like these quiet spaces now. Like most of the time, like where we are sleeping is very quiet.
Yeah.
And so it was just so many trucks just like
It was right on the
pew,
highway.
pew, pew.
Yeah.
Like
We
it
both
was
were just like,
insane.
nah.
And so we're like, maybe we'll go to Walmart instead because it'll be less loud.
Less traffic.
Less
It was
traffic.
like off of the highway a little bit more.
So these are some of the perks of van life. Sometimes you sleep with this in your background and have a super peaceful time, and sometimes you find yourself at a Walmart, and that's the realities of it.
It is, yeah, and thankfully we don't do that much.
We don't. We really don't.
You know?
So when we do, it's like, we're kind of spoiled now
For sure.
so much, like spending so much time out west, I think has led to us being in much more quiet places.
One of the things I think that's really cool though is, of course staying in a Walmart parking lot or a rest stop on the side of a highway with a ton of traffic isn't ideal, but these are decisions we get to make to
On the
get
fly.
us where we want to go.
Yeah.
You know? And like, I guess really we could have picked a more remote place and maybe taken
found
more
a campground
time,
or something.
or drove straight through, or paid to stay somewhere that was a little bit more quiet, right? But it was like a choice we made to stay for free that night because we weren't going to be there long. We just needed a place to sleep.
Just a place to sleep. Yeah,
So-
we drove all day, I think we both drove.
Yeah. Ideally, like we're not going to pay for a campsite if we just
If we're
need a
not going to
place sleep.
actually utilize the
Exactly.
amenities of a campground.
Yeah, and we try to keep our expenses to a minimum. You know?
Yeah.
That's what allows us to live this way and see the things we do without having a ton of income and stuff like that, and not having to work as often and all of this. Like that plays into it. And so those are the slight downsides to it sometimes, but we get to choose when we're going to kind of suffer that way. And it's not
and
that
at the
bad.
same time, like our curtain system and shades are so good that when we close off, like you could be anywhere. You wouldn't even know you were in a Walmart parking lot.
Other than the sounds.
Other than the sounds. Yeah. Other than the sounds.
Yeah. Which can be very interesting in a Walmart parking lot at night.
Yeah. But better than the rest stop for sure.
It was, yes.
That was crazy loud.
Yeah.
But
then here we are.
So we made it here to Caddo.
We are paying for this campsite.
Yes, and that was
$12 a night.
Yeah, $12 a night, and that includes water and
Electric.
there's a electric and a dump station here and
showers and all of that stuff.
And it's not something we normally do, but we wanted to just be somewhere, and there's not as much space for the type of camping that we normally do.
Not a lot
utilizing
of free stuff. We mentioned that on the last one we were staying at
BLM
Big
lands.
Bend.
Yeah. That there too. Yeah, we stayed at a
So
campground.
Texas has been a little bit tougher for finding free places, but
And the East Coast in general.
yeah, which we know.
We know.
We know we're basically out of it at this point. As we go east, there's not going to be much more of that at all. But $12
as far
a night,
as campgrounds go,
this is our background.
And we
backyard.
can launch our kayak right here, and it's been really wonderful. So the first day we got here, we saw tons of birds.
We got here one evening.
Yeah.
That
Oh, was it
evening,
the next day?
And I don't know if I shot this. I shot this in the morning.
Okay.
I think.
Well, was it the first day that we saw all those cormorants?
It was the first full day that we were here.
Okay.
That we saw this.
Yeah, we saw this crazy amount of birds.
Crazy.
Cormorants, obviously this is not a good photo, but there was tons of cormorants. There were even white
Thousands.
pelicans. We didn't know that those would be around.
Yeah.
And also maybe like 20 to 30 egrets. White egret or
This
great
photo
egrets.
you're looking at was right out
here.
there.
I was just standing here.
Like I glanced out, or one of us glanced out at some point and was like, there's some cormorant. Oh, there's a lot of cormorants. And we stepped out and it was just
insane.
Guys, thousands of them in this feeding frenzy. Terns diving.
Yeah, terns too.
White pelicans there. Just mayhem.
It was crazy.
And we're like, this is amazing.
And yeah, so we were super excited because every other time we've been in this type of environment, this cypress swamp, we've had birds, but very few numbers, especially when it comes to the great egrets. Like sometimes we'd have just one or two, and sometimes not at all, and just the little birds, wrens and things like that are always around. So it was just so promising. And that first day Ray had a lot of work to do, so we couldn't go out, and then
2 days.
The first two days. And our kayak had a patch in it, or it had a hole in it.
All right, so this is on us, guys. We get to a lake and we hadn't patched it. We knew about
We knew we were coming to
a month ago.
The lake. Not a month ago. I don't know, about a month ago.
We were in California.
But we didn't think about, well, we knew about the hole. Yeah,
we've known about the leak.
We knew about the hole. We didn't know we were going to come to Caddo Lake.
The last time we used this. And so this is like something that's just stupid on our part. You know, we've known about this leak in the kayak. We've had the stuff to patch it for a while. I ordered that forever ago. And we've just been lazy about doing it. And then, of course, all of a sudden, we're now at a lake where we want to use it. And it's like, all right, well, I'll patch it up, you know, like when we're here.
So not ideal.
It had more holes than we thought, guys. It had more holes than we thought. I thought there was one. There was like 3 or 4. Real tiny in this one spot, all in the same area. Patched them all up, got it working. And
Frank is doing great
now. Back in the water. Frank, as Emily has dubbed our kayak, Frank. Frank the kayak,
Frank the tank. So anyway, our first morning out, it was about, that's not in the morning. That was one of the evenings that Ray was working. I just shot from land, and I thought that was a pretty cloud, so I included that one.
Cloud's super cool.
But our first morning out, it turned out to be like 20 degrees colder than it had been the 3 previous days that we'd been here. And
it was right around 30.
Right around 30. It was unpleasant to be out there.
It's not ideal.
But there was this beautiful mist, as you can see.
Which is the one bonus of the cold. It was calm enough.
And there was this beautiful mist. And there were no egrets.
None. Guys.
There was none.
For right over there where we can see, for the first 2 days,
30 egrets.
20 to 30 egrets. Great egrets every day, every morning, in the evening they're coming in there. We're like, this is going to be great. The first time we go out in the kayak, we're going to go out there, egrets. And for us, like, to me anyway, I think.
In this habitat, in this landscape.
Egrets are the best.
Because
they're big,
it's,
and they're
white. And they really stand out amongst those, the dark cypress.
And so they let you do smaller in frame stuff. And really show off that habitat because the bird still stands out. You throw a great blue heron small in frame in the middle of the tree.
Front lit, it's going to be like.
He just disappears.
You don't even know he's there.
Basically any other bird other than a large white bird
is going to blend in.
So,
but this shot totally works because it's
silhouetted. Great blue heron. I shot him as he was flying in. You can see the fog below. And then we both shot this. This one's mine. Close. Let's see. I did 120.
160. Okay.
And you did 100. Yours was.
You're shooting the Plana. The 135. And it's a little crooked. I probably could fix that.
My shot.
But our edit, we're very similar. Very similar.
I mean, what else?
It was like the same moment, isn't it?
Yeah. Oh yeah. His feet are just
like
full on touching.
Almost exactly the same.
Yep.
Wow.
Yeah. Pretty cool. Look at the shutter speed you got.
8,000.
Yeah, mine's at 400.
And what's my ISO though? Yeah.
That's the difference.
That's pretty crazy.
Right? Of f4.8 to 1.8.
Yeah, wow.
I mean, what's the ISO? 125 to 106. Basically the same.
Yeah.
So.
That's pretty cool.
I don't know if you shot, maybe your original might have been a little darker than mine, potentially.
Probably. It was one stop under.
Yeah, I was just shooting manual, I think.
Okay. I wasn't shooting. I was shooting aperture priority.
Actually, you know what? Maybe I was,
Yeah.
But yeah, 400th of a second. I mean, I'm lucky I got it sharp. You're going to have no problem at
8,000 of a second. If I don't have it sharp, we have a problem. But that is it. But I mean, and in the look of the shot.
But
you could maybe tell a little bit with the water.
Well, here, the background, like there versus there, like you're definitely like there's a little bit of a softness difference there between the aperture.
And what about in the water too? I think.
Yeah, I got more of the water in.
Yeah, I know, but look at the.
Did you crop this much?
I cropped, I think, a little bit off the left-hand side.
Okay.
But you were further away. You were in the back of the kayak.
I was also 160 millimeter.
Yeah, but you were in the back of the kayak.
I know. Yeah, it's
So
just
that's
interesting.
farther away. But yeah, look, the texture of the water is a little bit different too, I think.
For sure. Yeah,
Yeah.
definitely.
Yeah,
oh,
it's
yeah,
more
you're
smooth.
getting, yeah. And you
Yeah.
were probably shooting lower too.
Maybe.
It looks like. Yep.
Yeah, so anyway, that was
That's
a cool
cool.
one. Great blue heron.
I got, that's you actually again. Yeah. Getting them with the sequence flying
Oh,
out there.
okay.
Yep. Emily shot some cool
Oh
water
yeah,
stuff.
so when we were paddling, I was reminded of being on the boat in Hilton Head, like a power boat. I don't know what it's called.
Yeah.
Those kind of boats.
Mm-hmm.
And just like looking behind, looking towards you, and seeing that in the seeing that in my rear view. Just the textures of the water at that. I guess that would have been sunrise.
Yeah, it was.
Time?
Sunrise, yeah.
And it just really took me back to that.
Nice.
And I love those. It was just looking so beautiful.
It
the
is.
way that the sun kind of, I don't know, reflects or whatever on the water. It was just so beautiful.
Yeah.
So I just took a couple of shots of that.
Yeah, it's awesome. You shot them both wide open. Yeah.
Yeah.
Looks like it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Nice.
And
Saw some hooded mergansers.
Yeah.
I got them. I don't know if you shot.
I
Because
did shoot
135,
them.
they were going to be pretty small. They're already tiny in frame at 400.
Oh, that was
so
400. Wow. Okay. Yeah, they were definitely
gonna be-
they were definitely small.
The one disadvantage of
yeah.
the 135 prime.
Yeah, I've enjoyed shooting the 135 in this habitat, but yeah, I didn't. I don't know if I edited any anyway.
Has there been any times where you were like, oh, I wish I had more reach, or I wish I was wider, or I wish I was anything, or you just
I've
been
been
kind of
like,
like connecting with
just
that and
happy with it.
do.
Yeah.
There's something fun. There's interesting. Like there are great. I just saw the wings.
Oh, okay.
There's something interesting that happens with a prime lens to me too. That it's like all of a sudden okay that you don't have the flexibility.
Yeah.
I mean, there's a handful of times where all of a sudden you get something super friendly. You're like, oh my
Right.
gosh, I want wide.
Right.
But more reach, I don't know. If I have a prime in a mid-range like that,
Yeah, I like the range. I
And-
really like the 135.
and I'm not close enough, I'm just like weirdly okay with it.
Yeah.
And then it's like, well, I either get closer or I don't get the opportunity.
Yeah.
But I'm never like, oh man, I should have brought the 400
No.
or should have brought this. You know,
Yeah.
like I don't have
It's
that
like just
very often. I have it
being-
the other way. Of,
you
I wish
always
I wanted
have it.
wide.
Oh, I wish I had the 24 or the
Yeah.
yeah. You're definitely like
Yeah.
tend more towards that.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I like kind of just sticking with the choice that I have and doing what I can with it.
It's kind of like you make the best of what you have. And
Yeah.
I don't know. It almost forces me to see a
See a
little bit
scene
more
differently.
compositionally
Yeah.
with what I am dealing with
Yeah.
versus
Yeah, that's
an
true. Because if you
almost
do have the
infinite
flexibility,
number of,
yeah,
like-
like the 28-4, for example.
or even the 1-4.
Yeah.
Like, there's a lot of different options in
Sure,
there.
sure.
And plus, not just the zoom, but where do you place the subject? Do I put them here?
Yeah,
Here?
but you can
And at
even
different
do
scenes, so, like,
that. Yeah,
There's
exactly.
just so many combinations to do.
Yeah.
Or the prime, it's like,
I'm here.
this is what I got.
Well, you can still definitely play with composition
well,
and
exactly.
the scene.
But that's what I mean. You can play with
But you're
that,
more limited. Yeah, you're just in one.
but you don't have to add in that
Yeah, the
infinite
extra
flexibility
zoom.
of zoom.
Right.
You know?
Yeah.
So there's something that's just kind of simple and nice.
Yeah.
And in fact, actually, another photographer, I think it was Gurneet, who I've had on the podcast.
Yeah.
He mentioned the other day, he was like, I can't shoot a zoom. He's like, it's just too much.
too much to
Yeah.
think
He just-
about.
he just
Yeah.
doesn't like
I
it
could
for
see
that.
that. Yeah, I could see that.
So, yeah, I mean, I do love the flexibility of it. but-
There's benefits, pros and cons to everything, of
For
course.
sure.
Yeah.
But it's interesting that I've never had a negative feeling of being stuck on a prime. Rarely,
Yeah.
other than
Well,
that wide
except
thing.
for you. Yeah, you do feel
But
that way.
even then, it's like, well, whatever. I'll just shoot some close-ups, and you get some
Yeah.
amazing shots anyway. you
Yeah.
know, so.
I feel like, you
But
do get
that
a
is
little
funny, isn't it?
upset. If not upset, but like,
I'm never like yearning for more reach. I'm
no, you're always yearning for less. You're like, I wish I could show more of this
Yeah,
scene, usually,
totally.
9 times out of 10.
This is cool.
Yeah, it's not like great or anything, but
Yeah,
it's
an interesting
okay.
balance. It shows off the cypress trees.
Yeah.
It is kind of the thing. We were talking about it a little bit. Like, this one works, but if you show too much of these trees,
They're kind of messy. They're kind of a mess.
they are. We were
Yeah.
talking about that. Like, unless you connect them into the water, because that's kind of unique.
Yeah. But here it
maybe
was
not the
like,
best tree.
I guess, yeah.
This is
okay.
dope.
So this is when we were just paddling,
Oh,
and I
okay.
saw this, what?
32,000th of a second.
And it's also
maxed
crazy
out.
underexposed.
90 ISO.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's so random.
No, I mean, that's how bright it is, and that's what happens
Yeah.
with the f1.8 lens. You know?
I guess.
It's crazy.
Yeah. But so Ray was paddling us. I was in the front of the boat, and I could just see obviously these like mist coming through the trees, and the way that the water was reflecting with that blue. I enhanced a little bit the blue to show, how my eyes saw it.
Yeah.
But it was so pretty. So pretty.
Yeah. Let's switch over. I know we have some
we have
videos.
some
Here we
video
go.
from there's
So
that's how it looked with the phone.
this is just kind of gliding through on that freezing cold sunrise.
It was cold.
But at least it was calm.
cold.
At least we didn't have a lot of wind.
Yeah.
There was
Did
like
I
a
have the
little bit of
hand
a breeze.
warmer that day?
We did. I think so.
Yeah.
It just wasn't enough for you.
I was cold. I was angry. I was angry at the cold.
And then this
I think
is
that's
a
a sunset.
So
Yeah.
okay, so we'll come back to that.
Which is funny because I was like I was in it. We were in it, this cold weather, and I was like so frustrated with the cold because my body just doesn't handle it well. I'm cold sitting here right now.
I know, it's a little cool right here. So
And,
this is the sunset that we went back out on. So
Okay.
that same evening,
Yeah.
I think we went back out for this sunset, and so here we'll show you guys.
Yes.
that.
Thank the crickets. Thanks
Just
to me.
another beautiful scene though. And guys,
Yeah.
this is right out here.
Yeah.
We just launched the kayak and just hop right
Yeah.
up.
It was really calm there too.
We wait for the light to get good.
And then we just go.
And then we
it's
go.
my favorite type of shooting.
Yeah, and so we had a great blue heron up on top of us. A lot of these, all of them, I think.
Was that when we
cloned
a
out
little
this
bit?
branch?
Yeah.
There was a branch that just intersected right into his head there.
Yeah.
And killed the shape of the head. So that was
Yeah.
the one downside of this. But the spot and the tree was so beautiful.
Was this last night?
No, because we skipped a day.
Okay.
It was like 2 nights ago or
Okay.
something like that. So just a caveat, these all have the cloned out branches.
That one too?
Yeah, I did it on
okay.
this one as well. Yeah.
Yeah. So
Yeah,
interesting.
there you can kind of see what happened
Yeah.
when we didn't clone it.
Right.
He's starting to
he
get
was
in
a
there.
little bit more.
He just gets lost, and then you just give him a little bit of space with that branch, and it works much better.
Yeah. So those are rays.
The color like a slight shift in angle.
Yeah,
gave
and then you can
such a
get that
different-
blue more.
Yeah.
Yeah,
This
and
is
I was
the
obviously I was shooting 135.
And interestingly, right? So I think all of mine are 330, 400, 270 is the widest I went.
Yeah.
Look how much more sky you show.
Yeah,
Which is
and
why
I
you have more
really
blue.
that's it. I really liked the blue.
Yeah.
I really liked the blue of the water.
Because if you compare all of mine,
Yeah.
I never got that extent of blue
Yeah.
because I wasn't shooting wide enough.
Yeah. And I really liked the blue.
Yeah. But also,
But I mean, there's always something for like a golden, tone to it.
Oh, yeah,
But I
for
think
sure.
I think I just tend toward, which is interesting because we were just talking about this on a podcast that we recorded 3 years ago. Like I prefer the light and the colors after sunset or
yeah.
before sunrise
Yeah.
to the immediate sunrise or sunset time.
Yeah.
So.
I just wanted to point out there's not much of a difference in tree size. This one's a little bit bigger. I shot that one at 280 millimeter. But like I think we just got closer
Yeah.
when you shot that.
Yeah.
And because you were just a little bit wider, you saw so much more sky, even though relatively it's not that much smaller in frame.
Yeah.
And so it's just such a really nice illustration of what happens when you start shooting stuff wider.
Sure.
And how things can kind of change. But
Yeah.
killer shot. I love the reflection
Yeah,
that's working
really.
down the tree.
I was really enjoying seeing the blue
Yeah.
in the water and that gradient.
And I'm
so
glad to see it stayed sharp at your slow shutter speed of 6,400. They're all so high from that lens with these silhouettes, like, of course.
Yeah, sure.
There we
And
are on
that's
the way back.
right after. Yep, just kayaking back.
Yeah, nice.
And then that was
Next day we
yesterday
skipped
morning?
going out because it was another freezing day.
It
We're just
was.
like, enough.
Yeah.
We're not going to go out in the freezing cold again.
Yeah.
The light was nice. I went and shot over by the shoreline right over there. Had these hooded mergansers.
Love that shot too.
Pied-bill grebe. A couple of egrets flew around, so got that shot. Pied-bill grebe came in close. Shot all these 1 to 400. And then that was kind of it for that morning. So
And then that was last night, wasn't it?
this was last night.
Yeah.
So you want to tell the story of this? Wait, let me make sure. Let me see video-wise.
Oh. I think you already showed. Did you show that one?
Was that? No, I don't think I did show
well,
this
you
one.
could show
but-
that. That was another one from the other morning when it was freezing cold.
Yeah, just to see what these. This place is amazing. It's so cool to be out in the water, though.
It
Notice what she
is.
concentrates on.
Listen,
go.
I was trying to say before you interrupted me earlier
When was this?
this was that night. This was the night that...
Oh, okay.
So we weren't sure if it was going to be a nice sunset tonight or not.
Didn't look like it was going to be, but...
Blam!
Dang.
We just made a snap decision to
Ran to the boat.
come out, and that's the benefit of camping right over there.
Yeah.
So we could literally decide as the sun was setting and looking amazing.
Well, also, we saw... There was a great blue heron, like, closer to shore over here.
Yeah.
He was perched in a spot that wasn't that great because he was like tangled up in the stuff.
And then he flew out to like one of those trees.
Yeah, one of them. I think. Yeah,
one of those.
And he was right on top. He was like super exposed.
Yeah.
Showing himself.
And then we got some photos
We got some
of him.
amazing shots. So. That was fun because we didn't get to hear that. I have no idea what we said.
I know we were talking about going out to shoot. We had seen him on land, and it was like right at sunset time. The sun was just starting to set, and so this was taken just from land, just because. And obviously it's a terrible shot.
Well, I was thinking like, oh, I could get it because it was just slope over here.
Yeah.
And I'm thinking, oh, we can get up on the slope, put him right in the orange. But like, who cares with that tree?
No, I was gonna say like, no matter what, we're gonna have that tree behind him.
Disaster.
So that sucks. And so anyway, but we were like, all right, well, let's go out anyway. We start getting the kayak ready, and he flew. Yes.
Is that when we were gonna go out anyway?
Yeah, we were gonna go out anyway.
And then we went.
I don't remember the chain of events.
Doesn't matter. Yeah.
Doesn't matter. But he flew, and then we were definitely and he went to a perfect spot.
So he went to another tree further.
Here's something back there.
Sounded like a gallinule.
Oh, really?
Yeah, that was weird. Sounded like a squeak. Anyway.
So, yeah, it landed in this perfect opening.
Beautiful tree. This sunset was incredible.
Yeah, it was. And it had been pretty cloudy like that all day. And so we were unsure if it was going to be like a great sunset or not.
And here's the beauty of this again, right? I had said multiple times, and you had even said, we're like, it looks like it's going to get shut down.
Yeah.
It kind of looked like this back there.
Yeah.
Although, look at the light rays.
It actually looks pretty cool, yeah.
All right, we're going to wrap this up so we can get... There was a big cloud bank. It looked like the sunset was going to get shut down. And then last minute, we walked over there to shoot, and then the sun popped out.
Right.
And we were like,
we should get...
We got back over here.
Yeah.
And then all of that happened.
Yeah.
And then
which is the beauty of staying right here so that we don't have to drive half an hour and find a spot to plunk in the kayak or whatever.
Yeah.
So anyway.
So here's a bunch of these.
Yeah.
Shot a bunch of different focal lengths.
And it was so, like, one bird is all you need. Like, it just goes to show, you don't need 50 birds. All you need is one bird and a killer sky and environment.
I'll tell you, during all of this, too, we were very
intentional
careful.
Of the placement.
Yes.
Yeah.
Like, you can see, notice where he's placed in all of these, in that orange spot, right?
And
so that was us moving the kayak back and forth, left and right.
Yeah.
Because we even noticed, like, if he drifted into these a little bit, it was a bit much. So then it was trying to, like, you can see here, there's a space right there. So we moved over to put him in there. Like, that to me is such a fun thing to play with this kind of stuff. Is when you notice that all of that detail, you can really dial in.
Yeah, just like being more intentional of the placement, especially when you're shooting smaller in frame. Like, it's like you almost have to do that in order to make a good shot.
Yeah.
So
yeah, these are all mine, I think, so far. And then it did get late enough that, the light mellowed enough, so then you could see him more in the clouds. In the dark. Yeah. And then he took off. So then here's Emilie's. We kind of separated them a little bit. Here's all of her shot at the one. Only 500th of a second there.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay. Wasn't that bright?
I guess it was.
Yeah.
Yeah. And this one is center composed. I don't know. I just kind of liked it, but yeah.
I agree. Yeah, it works good. I really like the addition of the tree back there.
Yeah.
A few times, especially when I was shooting longer, those trees would get bigger. Mm-hmm. And so I was really noticing like the placement of them in the background was kind of fun.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's cool that we both shot horizontal and vertical.
Yeah, I was trying to do some, he was still and we had time to work with him. So it was just kind of like,
there was something about both compositions.
Yeah, like let me try some more with the sky, more with the water, left, right, up, down,
Yeah, and I mean, so
everything.
Look at, just in, 15 minutes tops.
Yeah.
We were out there. Like, look at the diversity and the variety we got based on those conditions. And we missed the actual sun going down, but I think it's fine because it would have been just a big, giant, bright, distracting ball again.
Yeah.
You know? Because there's no way you're like,
you're
really
not exposing that sun or, lighting
with
it.
Yeah. But that's pretty damn cool, I think, to get that diversity like that. Sure. And then he did eventually take off.
Yeah, he did.
So we each got that, which was cool. So cut to this morning.
Right. I forget what happened this morning.
We went out in the water again. It was warmer.
We've known
the temps were finally go, so we were like, let's get back out in the water in the morning.
Yeah,
again.
It was a beautiful sunrise.
Just like last night, there was a cloud bank, as you can see there. And in fact, here you can really see it. And the sky lit up.
It was really beautiful.
Couldn't find a damn thing.
I forgot.
Couldn't find anything for a while.
Then we had an egret.
Then we had a single egret, and guys, we had some beautiful stuff with them.
Yeah.
We're really, really happy with this stuff. So I think this is going to be most of mine first.
Yeah. I think I only have a couple in there.
This is a panoramic stitch. So I shot this vertically, just like that, basically. That's like one frame like that, and then I just went boom, 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 overlapped them.
Yeah, I love how you could see all those like glowing up trees.
Yeah.
It's just beautiful.
And it's cool too. Like, one thing, I know this is like, you can't do this when you actually present the photo, but it is kind of fun to be able to zoom in to that level of detail on a shot because there's so much resolution in it, which is kind of cool. So I love playing with the layers of the
the trees, kind of how they intersect
and the light, the spotlighting effect that was hitting certain areas and just coming through and making such an interesting, moody scenario.
Yeah.
Sun dipped behind the clouds eventually, so then it got more flat like this.
Yeah.
And there's one of Emilie's.
Yeah.
Yeah, there you go. I mean, damn, that looks great. I know, I haven't got to see any of these. Yeah. That shallow depth of field really works on that too.
Yeah. Yeah,
I like
that's
that
just
one
a little bit more
nice.
Less cropped or something. I don't know. I cropped the other one.
So again, guys, imagine if this was a great blue heron or any other bird that was darker.
It just wouldn't stand out like that.
It's a useless shot.
Not useless, but
how do you make that work?
It just doesn't stand. You'd probably have to brighten it or something.
You'd have to make it look so absurdly edited to make him really stand out in this level of like size in the frame, like sure you could shoot closer, shoot longer, play with depth of field, like you could get away with this kind of stuff right here with the great blue heron maybe and the right light, but even that I mean, I would think it would blend in. It's just like the great egrets are the perfect bird for this habitat. Yeah.
But they have to show up and stick around. We found that the birds are pretty skittish.
This guy was pretty skittish too, but we ended up spending some time with him. He got so comfortable, he came down and started feeding in front of us, which is always a great sign. Like, especially if you start out from a bird, like there was a couple times, the first 2 times we got anywhere near him, he would like fly back away. There's another great egret. He would fly back away and go kind of up on the shoreline. And then 10 minutes later, he's back again. And so we quickly realized, like, okay, he needs some space and time, so we slowed our approach. Yeah. And then we got well within range here, and he got comfortable enough for us to be able to do that kind of stuff. So.
Yeah, so that's our time so far, and have a few more days here, and see what we can get else.
I just saw a great egret landed right up there. There he goes, flying around. And we're gonna have to keep an eye on the sky and see if something happens with that.
We can easily just
jump right out there.
Pump up Frank and get it.
Pump up Frank, yes.
And get it and go.
So I guess, this is right before Christmas. Today's the 23rd when we're recording this. So we are going to be spending Christmas here.
Yeah.
So we're going to
We might have another episode from this.
I'm trying to think. Yeah, we'll be here till the
29th.
So about another week. So yeah, we'll probably end up recording another one from here. So the next one is likely going to be mostly about this lake, but like Emilie said earlier, we are planning on trying to go and explore some
other areas
of it as well, and just see what else happens and see what else we can come up with in this beautiful, stunning place here. So thank you so much, everybody, for joining. Thanks for watching. Have a wonderful holiday season, whatever holidays you're celebrating. And hope all of you photographers get some time over the holidays to get out and photograph some really cool stuff. So yeah, thanks for joining us, guys. We'll see you on the next one.